If you were able to back a truck of money big enough over to Michael Keaton's house to get him to dress up as Batman again, and you shelve the movie, that is one of the dumbest. All right, we got to talk about DC because I'm pissed. This is probably going to be a bit of a rant. Maybe it's going to be all over the place. I don't know. I talk a lot. Yesterday, Warner Brothers announced that they were canceling the Batgirl movie, shelving it, pulling the plug. $90 million. $90 million went into this film. They are just not going to release it. It's not going on HBO. It's not coming out in the theaters. It's over. Batgirl is over. They're pulling the plug. They also canceled a Scooby-Doo sequel, which I guess kind of went under the rug because this was the main story. This is so frustrating. First of all, I love DC, right? I grew up Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, whole Justice League squad. Love the Justice League. Favorite superheroes growing up were Superman, Batman, and then over on Marvel's side, I love Spider-Man, Wolverine. As somebody who gravitates towards DC most of the time, just because I think a lot of their heroes are very interesting, even though they do a pretty bad job of showing it off in their movies. This is, like, what are they doing? What is Warner Brothers doing with DC right now? So there's two big problems with what's happened here. The first one is the pulling of the plug for the Batgirl movie. Now, first of all, I was excited. I mean, Batgirl hasn't really gotten much to do despite being like a pretty prominent character in the Bat universe, Bat family. So this is pretty disappointing. Also, J.K. Simmons was in this, but also Michael Keaton was in this movie, which, like, I thought I would never see Michael Keaton as Batman again. This man made a whole other separate movie about how playing Batman ruined his career. We got Birdman because Michael Keaton played Batman. Now, with Ben Affleck back in the fold, there's a good chance that Ben Affleck is the only Batman we ever get to see. And I think he's actually a good Batman. But if you have Michael Keaton in a Batman project, if you were able to back a truck of money big enough over to Michael Keaton's house to get him to dress up as Batman again, and you shelve the movie, that is one of the dumbest decisions you could possibly make. And not only that, but this was going to be a huge opportunity to put a prominent female superhero in a leading role in her own movie, and now it's gone. Just out the window, just like that. Look, we got Wonder Woman, and, like, that's it. You want to count the Eternals? You want to count Black Widow? She was already dead by the time she got her solo movie. Like, this doesn't happen that often. People still freak out anytime a woman dresses up as a superhero to begin with. This was going to be a pretty nice win, and now it's gone. Who knows? Maybe they think that wasn't going to make enough money or put it on HBO Max and nobody's going to watch it. I really don't know. I also don't understand the point. You already put, like, 90% of the movie is done. So just finish it. I mean, they wasted more money doing the Snyder version of Justice League, then turning it into the Joss Whedon version, then turning it back into the Snyder version and releasing that on HBO Max. So that they put that one on HBO Max, and then this one is not on HBO. Dude, DC makes no sense. The other thing about them canceling this Batgirl movie is what it means about the future of the DC universe, movie. I don't even know, okay? Because they made a point of saying in this cancellation, in this announcement, that they wanted their movies to be big blockbusters. So basically saying, we want to do what Marvel's doing. That's fine. Marvel makes plenty of good movies, even if it seems like they've started to fall off a little bit lately, but there's still a lot of good quality there. What's annoying about this is that it was like the DC style was working. Like, yes, DC has made a lot of bad movies, a lot of them, but I will always argue that the best DC films are either up there or better than the best Marvel movies. If we're talking Dark Knight, if we're talking the Batman, the Suicide Squad, first Wonder Woman movie, like, there are Joker, there are a lot of great DC movies, but part of that was because they were willing to take chances. The Batman was them taking a chance. The Suicide Squad was them taking a chance on a movie that they had already made that was terrible. Like, they took chances, and now it seems like they're going to get away from that. Like, don't get me wrong. I was annoyed that they made Man of Steel and then proceeded to just not do a sequel at all. The movie came out 10 years ago. There's been no sequel. They don't like Henry Cavill, then they do, then they don't, then they do. I don't know what's going on. I don't think they know what's going on. But now I'm worried about the future projects. There was a Blue Beetle movie that's done filming that, I'm gonna be honest, feels like that's next up on the chopping block. Like, they're gonna axe that one because they're probably thinking, who gives a shit about Blue Beetle? I'm nervous about Static Shock. That was pretty exciting when they announced it. Now I feel like that's also probably not gonna happen. I'm also terrified that both the Joker sequel, which I really don't think is going to get canceled because it's got such a big name attached and the first one was so successful. I'm nervous that it might get canned, and I'm also nervous that we're not going to get any more of Robert Pattinson Batman, because I don't view those films as blockbusters. They almost seem like independent movies that just happen to be associated with superheroes or supervillains, that sort of thing. So if DC is going for a blockbuster style, every film has to be connected, they want to build a big universe, that's fine. It works, right? Marvel's done it. It does work. That strategy worked. But the other strategy that worked was how different and unique a lot of the DC films felt. Like, the Suicide Squad felt different than the Batman, which felt different than Joker, which felt different than Wonder Woman, which felt different from Shazam. They didn't all feel like they were made by the same person, which is a massive problem that I have with a lot of the Marvel films. So as a fan of superheroes in general, it was nice to have that much diversity. And now it feels like we're gonna get DC's version of what Marvel is doing, which DC, despite having so many great movies, unfortunately has a lot of really, really bad ones. And because of that, they are always going to be seen as inferior to Marvel. Even though they've made plenty of great movies, they've made so many bad ones that they're always going to be seen as inferior. So the idea that they now want to copy the people that they're already seen as worse than does not make any sense to me. I am so confused. I think that this almost feels like full reset. Just hit the full reset button, cancel everything. How do you cancel Batgirl? And Ezra Miller, who's fucking beating the shit out of people in Hawaii, still has a movie coming out.